Okay, so here we are, July 1st, 2017, 1:04 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois, USA. And good afternoon, Hassam Shar and Alex Perth. We are now doing episode 5 of Unfolding the Garden. So we've been doing it for over a month now. So last week we covered up to the end of October, and we looked at the IGF build. So now we'll start with the ones in November. I think let's take a look at this one, November 3rd. Oh, and just kind of as an update for the rest of the game, I am currently, so this weekend I'm not going to be streaming development as much because I'm working on this bug reporter. Actually, the Diego Cardenas, I think he's in the stream sometimes. Anyway, he made this Trello tracker. Which actually got around. You know how I was using the Trello bug reporter? I had to use Imgur to host the images. It was like super complicated. Well, it turned out there was an easier way, which was actually after you make the Trello card, you can just add an attachment to it. So I'm switching over to his system. The problem is, for some reason, Unity is not updating the code for older versions of Unity on the asset store. So I don't have the latest features, but he's gonna send them to me. But so I'm integrating some of that in. Like it's got after you send a bug, it has like a confirmation page, and it's also got a tool where you can draw on the screenshots. So I think that'll be helpful, especially with some of the design suggestions, because you can use the same tool to send in design suggestions in addition to bugs, and this way, I can, you can be like, okay, this box should move over there or something. All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the November build. November 3rd. Let's just take a look at this. I think this might be okay. Data folder not found. All right, so we'll skip that one. So November 21st, 2013. Yeah, well, it's going to be helpful, getting people's suggestions. Like another thing I want to do is have a rating system for puzzles. Maybe I don't know if I can put that in the game. I might just ask people to do it. Alright, so this is what, hold on a second, November 21st. Alright, new game. Let's take a look at this. Okay, yeah, this is a cool version. All right, so this is really interesting. So what I did was I changed up the beginning. Now, this level was actually inspired by a Tadao building. So I'm gonna I forget the name of it though. It worked better in theory than in execution, which is why Dondo building. I forget the name of it, but it's Oh, by the way, he's making a new building he's got a new project in Paris. He's actually going to be turning the old stock exchange building into a museum. So I want to find this one because this is the, I basically tried to copy his building, and it was a lesson in how, it's this one down here, but anyway, it's a good lesson in how sometimes what works in real life doesn't work well in architecture. Azuma House, I think that's it. I did. So yeah, so this is the, okay, so you can see here, this is the picture, right? And what we got in this building, there's 2 stories. There's this little hallway in the middle, not hallway, like it's sort of open air, and there's space here and here on the left and right side. We'll take a look at, but yeah, you got one room, and you got, one room here, another room here, another room down here, and another room down here. So the idea was, I wanted to put this as the opening level in the game. You'd start here, right? You start here, then you kind of walk down this hallway. You're in the second room. You go down the stairs. You're in this room, and then you come out here, and this right here would be the exit. Right. So this is. Oh, I actually didn't realize it just opened up like that. Yeah, I really like this building, and I wanted to have it be the opening level. So yeah, you can see this. Alright, so this explains, so you can see this is how we're doing it, right? We've got the room here, this little pathway here, and then the stairs over there. Now I did add glass because I did not want you to kind of have to go through it. So same thing, we got the instructions. And so now you come down and you learn pick up drop object, and the idea was that the path would be here to then open the door. Huh. One of the things I eventually got rid of, so this was, wow, look at how awful it is to move. So this is the old version of the walking upstairs. It's super bumpy. Now, one of the things I got rid of with this staircase, the set of stairs, was I noticed a lot of people would come down, they'd turn around, and immediately they would take these stairs back up again. And it was, this went on for a month, and I remember I was like, what's wrong with you? You just came down those stairs. Why are you going back up? And I think I think people experience virtual space differently than physical space, obviously. And like, people tend to forget where they've come from a lot more. Like, I think physically it's like, if you went downstairs, you're not just going to climb upstairs again because it's a lot of work. But in virtual space, that you don't quite experience like that. But it's like when you see stairs, when this guy is over there, it just looks, it's like that's kind of a lot brighter. And you know, when you see stairs in games, it's like, hey, go up. So a lot of people just kind of go back up again, and then like realize they were here before, and then come back down. So that was a very interesting lesson. So I got rid of the stairs here, but I do use the stairs in the beginning, in the opening area of the game for another purpose. So it's like I realize people will always walk towards stairs, and you can use that to your advantage. There is no trial version. Alright, so let's come out here. So this is kind of cool. Had the stairs going around in the column. Again, you'll see this in the opening level again. It was slightly different. So yeah. Now, if I hit spacebar right now, it doesn't let me rotate. I think at this point I wanted to have you unlock the feeling of changing gravity. Wait, what? Alright, the game's broken. Alright, that build is broken. Not sure what happened, but I couldn't move. No, there is no demo. Yeah, no moving. So that room was originally designed without gravity changing in mind. And I think that's important because it did mean when I allowed you to change gravity right away, that room wouldn't have worked. What the heck? This thing just breaks. Can't seem to rotate at all. Why don't I keep these broken builds around? Dun, dun. Well, it looks like some of these are just straight up broken. Let's try this again. Hopefully this time it works. I am not sure why the gravity changing keeps breaking. Maybe I had to like hold down spacebar? That might be it. Maybe it wasn't staircase is unnecessarily long. Okay, let's try this. What? You know what? Unfortunately, I think this is... Oh. Ah, Looks like that might have been missing something. Okay. Anyway, I'll see what happens when this spits me out. Okay, so yeah, I've added this this new feature, which is when you change gravity, it had this cool effect to go with it. And I did end up getting rid of it because once the levels got too big, oh, cool. Huh. What the These weren't supposed to go near the windows? Hold on a second. There's, I'm not sure what's happening, but there was this like slight tilt to the left. I'm not sure what's going on. Sometimes very strange things happen. What's up with these broken old builds? This game is so broken. Oh, there's our Rubik's Cube, or solve Rubik's Cube. Yeah, so it just kind of kept opening up one level after another. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you guys remember this one. Right, so you just kind of had to push it. Oh, wait. Here, you couldn't push it. You had to, like, land on it. And that... Yeah, so instead of pushing, I got around the problem, which is I made you use gravity. And it would, you know, the box, you can see it turn off when it's not in the middle of a cube. And so that way you always know it's like in the correct spot. So this was a little better. Previously it was like you had to walk up to it and push it. And this is, you know, you kind of stand on it and it would light up. So you just, I think, I basically just had to get it to... The idea was that you had to use your perspective and stand in a different spot and then get them to light up like that. Oh! Ah, okay, so now you can see, so this actually is, oh, well. Hold on, let's retry this. I think it might have been, that it might be because I had it plugged in. Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Okay, so this is what's interesting about. Yeah, I think it was just this didn't really work well with the Xbox controller. So I don't have no clip, but what I can show you is that this was actually trying to recreate Manifold Garden. I'm sorry. Relativity. So if you look at this image, you can see the similarities, right? Like what we've got here. Yeah, exactly. I was trying to recreate the Escher painting. I think if you look at this one, you'll notice so there's like the stairs to the left, these stairs to the right, the stairs kind of down here that turns up, and this little like opening area and a door down here, right? And a door here. If we look at this, oops, you can see it was sort of, I was trying to do that. Like it's a little bit hard to tell, but you can see here, right? The stairs to the left. This is the stair that winds up, and blue. This is the stairs over here, and then you can see here's the opening door, and there's another one. And in fact, if we go up, yeah, right. So this was okay. This is starting to get interesting because here was another really important lesson that I learned, which is that areas in Escher's paintings, they look cool, but they don't work well for levels, right? Like he's not a level. He's not trying to design a level there. He's just making a cool print, and that has a very different emphasis and approach than what a level should be. And I think at this point you'd fall off, and it would just maybe it would be. Oh yeah. All right, so here's kind of cool thing. Let's walk down into this. It's been a long time since I've visited this place. All right, the idea was you could use this to like fall down if you didn't want to travel. So here's the puzzle that I got rid of eventually. Oh, that's a really annoying sound. So what you had to do was use your, again, there's a lot of these played with perspective. So it was about like what you had to do was light up these diamonds, have the laser pass through the diamond in the correct order. Now this is annoying because like you can see I can't even stand behind without accidentally falling off, right? But and you had to like, I think I got rid of this stuff eventually just because I felt it wasn't, didn't feel like it was using the game in the most interesting ways. And it sort of, there wasn't a kind of consistency that I liked. It like these are all very, I feel like this is the kind of stuff you end up with when you try to make a misclone for the first time. Like it felt you know, where you're just sort of throwing everything at the game. Oh, right. So yeah, you had these like symbols that you had to learn to read, and so they appeared on the wall. Now the thing you had to associate with them. Let me see if I can find where you had to like input them. Oh, see, and this is a lot of backtracking, right? This is going up in the same way. Where was that puzzle? It might not even have been in here. Interesting. Anyway, the you had to associate it with the gravity color. Because each of those was on a different surface. Yeah, see, you had to go and you had to find the room with, like, there was no reasoning for any of that. I'm gonna just skip out ahead. Because the individual puzzles are not so interesting. It's the hub worlds. Yeah, so remember how those symbols, that were each on a different surface? Each surface had a different color, and then there was like one of those. That's like what I call it. It's a AAA puzzle. It's a AAA game puzzle. Dishonored, Skyrim. They all have those where, you know, there'll be like a door, and you have to figure out the lock. And I generally don't like those because they're just kind of. They sort of give you something to do, but they're not that interesting, right? Usually you just kind of, like in Dishonored, when they have those, you just have to like kind of walk around until you find a piece of paper that contains the combination. And a lot of times, like in Dishonored, they'll like tell you which ones to put in. And sometimes when you think about them, like there's one on a door in Dishonored 2, and you have to like turn a bunch of knobs. Yeah, you have to like, it's sort of all these dials. There's like 10 of them, and you have to line them up to be the correct ones to open the door. Except you're like, well, but after, like, first of all, that's really easy for someone with binoculars to see what the combo is, because the thing is massive. You know, each thing is like the size of this. And then it's like, if you close the door, does it reset the numbers or something? Well, not this version. This is a really. I don't know if you'd want to be. Throw money at this broken version, but this is from. Oh wait, see, that's bad. This is from November 2013. I do like the film grain here. Oh fuck. Yeah, you know, without woe wrapping, the restarting is actually just kind of annoying. You're able to like pick up some of these cubes with you. All right, this is too frustrating. Let's look at the later hub areas. Okay, yeah, we've seen this before. Right, okay, I want to talk about this. So this is actually in the current game. It's funny that this came... Yeah, it makes sense that this would come before the woe wrapping if it's just gravity changing. But this, I remember I had a really cool feeling with this, which was just like when I was walking on the surface, like walking through this architecture. I remember it gave me a very interesting feeling. And even here, I know this is cool. I should bring it back. See that? Now that's a bug. Look, I can see that. Not sure what's going on there, but it looks like that whatever shader is getting drawn on top of everything else. But I do like how this pipe like blocks the path. Now this is no longer that this obstacle is no longer that interesting when you have the gravity changing. Oh, so here's another problem, which is you can't see when you're standing. You don't know which direction the bowl is supposed to go. How do I make the expanding circle with the proper color change? Oh yeah, that's the expanding circle is on the, yeah, that's a depth. Yeah, the one that Gruz pointed out. Yeah, I'm just increasing. Yeah, so all the geometry, it has the same material. And then what it's doing is it's drawing a circle from the player's position and expanding out from the depth. But I think it like worked less well when the level is a lot bigger, because like especially if there was a gap, then you'd see it like 2 seconds later, then you'd see it come back around. So let's check out Hub 6. Oh yeah, this is kind of cool. It's really interesting just to look at these spaces and, you know, kind of what was going on with unexplained source of light. Oh, is it a sphere? Yeah, I think no, you're right. It was a sphere. I'm interested in checking out some of these Oh yeah, this is cool. I think this is experimental. But okay, you know what? This is cool because here it introduced the color changing. Wait, what? Oh wait, it's this way. But oh right, so but it would fall, and you'd have to use it to kind of come back around. Yeah, I'm not gonna solve this puzzle, but look at that shadow problem. Yeah, this is I think I was very influenced by Cairo at the time. I'm not even sure how this is possible. Although I do miss having point lights. Like, where can I even get a purple light? Oh, right, so here is orange. Right, and I guess this would give you yellow. So I think this wasn't intended to go anywhere. This was just like an experimental area. The one that Gruz suggested. Yeah, if you just Google depth and normal shader unity, there's like, I wrote a blog post. These were the earliest trees in Manifold Garden. You know, I met Daniel from Making Stuff Looks Good a few weeks ago. Yeah, this is... Man, the trees have come a long way. Yeah, it looks like they both just take you to the same area. Alright, so that was Relativity November 30th. So I think the next ones we got. Alright, for some reason, no builds from December period. Probably because I might have... Well, here's actually one. Here's December. Relativity Alpha Demo. For some reason that is... Wait a minute. Ah, yeah, okay. Here we go. So this would be... Oh, you know what? Never mind. That's... Let me check this out. I wonder if this is from December, but I think it's actually... Alright, this might be an older version. This might be from July. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this maybe could be, this could be a December version. Looks like I was experimenting with, what do they call this? Ambient occlusion. I think this is baked. Maybe I was experimenting with baked lighting. Let's see if this... Oh, yeah. Okay, this is cool. I think this was my early attempt at baked. Yeah, let's jump around to these levels. Yeah, okay, so this is definitely later. Yeah, this is definitely later. Actually, you know what, let me just solve this one. Just want to see what it looks like. So this is December. So it looks like I'd spent a lot of time playing with the light maps, which I also just completely got rid of in the end. Curious at what point I got rid of the so this is cool, right? Because now afterwards, now you can change gravity, and the idea is you're supposed to like go back. And oh, this is cool. So you have to go back here, and what the heck? Wait, how do I get out of this place? Oh, right. Oh, so now that you can change gravity, you can walk out of here. Yeah, this is very, very Cairo. Now I think previously, you guys remember it just kind of popped up. I think this had like a scale and translation. I got rid of this stuff. I think it just didn't work as well. Oh. Man, this is very Cairo. Oh, this is cool. So, you know, there were bodies of water. And apparently you can just walk on water. Yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of light map problems with Pro Builder. Look at this old version of that. That was another. Oh right, so that one I also. That was that was this building from Undo, right? It had this. That was the idea. So there's this. It's called Water Temple. Look at how awesome that is. So you kind of go down into the into this lake. That is the effect. So, and then there was a temple inside. This is what it looked like underneath. Yeah, I straight up. That was Undo. Man, I really wish there was a way to skip these puzzles. So yeah, you can see this interior is also very Undo. So let's actually, this is not that interesting. Let's jump back. Let's try it. I want to look at the. Yep. So same thing here. Here's the relativity space. Sometimes there were these light mapping bugs, and then like I'd have one area that's a little bit darker. Basically, so then eventually then like I started adding the Frank Lloyd Wright influences, and it was kind of combining Undo and Frank Lloyd Wright, and then just kind of my own having fun going with. So yeah, that was another thing. Like you'd see that sphere would kind of like catch up a little bit later. Yep, these areas. Okay, now what I am interested in. So these are just double gravity cubes, I think. Very similar to the ones we looked at last time. If I recall, they probably still had... Yeah, they still had the... this is broken. My character is upside down. I'm like... The gravity is in my head. Hello? I think somewhere in Japan. All right, these are the color changing beam puzzles. So Let's take a look at this. What is this? Arc 15. Ah, yeah, so I would do these like architecture experiments, you know. I would just kind of make stuff. It wasn't for puzzle, but you can kind of see where some of like this, you know, this is awful. Like it's very ugly. It's all over the place. Like look at those lines on the windows, right? But I think this here feels the most like what Manifold Garden is now. Right, this was just sort of like before I got the right look, before I got the right shaders, before I kind of understood what the game was trying to be, and what yeah, for the world wrapping and all that. Like, plus, look at it's so hard to see the edges. My apartment? No, I do not live in an apartment that looks like this. But yeah, and you can see the structure is sort of like one giant ring. But I think, you know, this here starts to feel a lot more like that. Let's look at another architecture experiment. Huh, cool. Oh yeah, this is, if you remember the first trailer, this had and again, water that you can walk on. So the reason why I got rid of these bodies of water was like, okay, so either I allow you to walk on water, which is dumb, or you go inside, right? But you know, the thing is, if water objects freeze when they're not in that gravity, so that would mean that the water freezes, which would mean that, you know, you'd be stuck in a block of ice if you try to change gravity inside water. Yeah, Chicago as well. More like Manifold Garden looks a little bit like Chicago, or has some. Yeah, I think there's no puzzle here, but I was just kind of having fun making cool architecture. Oh, and without the wool wrapping is so, yeah, the waterfall. No, they freeze. They become solid. You can walk on them. How long did this go for? Oh yeah, I think it kept. You like kept falling until it was out of your sight. That's so annoying. Why do I do such annoying things? Oh yeah. Here's I forget what this puzzle was. Yeah, I think you were supposed to like see some kind of pattern somewhere and then like use it to, you know, create a pattern or something. Yeah, this is all very like Myst, very Cairo inspired. Like you were supposed to draw a pattern a certain way or something. Let's look at this test. Oh yeah, if you want to post links, the other level from before. Alright, so it looks like I don't have anything from January of 2014. So let's go ahead. This is the build I think I submitted to Indicate, maybe? Let's take a look. Alright, so I lowered the area. Now, I had these point lights in the game, except what happened was everybody thought it was a button. Alright, so now the important thing here to realize is that what I did was I allowed you to have gravity changing right away. This is a problem. This I did not realize until much earlier what a problem this was. Because this game is really broken. Now, I'll talk about that. So eventually I got rid of these lights because everybody thought they were buttons and tried to step on them. Alright, so here is like, I had this key system, right? And I didn't want to have a menu, so like I didn't want to have this HUD, so you press it, and then you see on this door, it would light up. Look at this. This shader doesn't even work across the glass. But, like, on the door, if you look at it, you can see that it's got a blue thing lit up now. Oh, man, look at how bad these portals were. The lighting was all messed up. Okay, so I did get rid of the... With these doors, I got rid of... I got rid of the Rubik's Cube, and then I also added a window that explained where the light was coming from. So this actually looks worse, but I guess I was just kind of playing around with some stuff. Now, what I do want to show you guys is what happened once you solve a puzzle. So instead of a Rubik's Cube, you now had this key you had to press. And one of the feedback that I got, I think this was actually when I was talking to Alex Bruce, who made Antichamber. He played the game. I met him at Indiecade in February 2014 in New York, and so I think he played not this version. He played a one that was a little bit more polished because I didn't submit this one to Indiecade, but But so he had this feedback, which was like, oh, right. So here, you know, like one puzzle would lead you to another. So I combined these two. You can see, you remember, this puzzle used to be in the yellow gravity. It's now in red. But so it had this thing where you press this key, and you can see right now it would like that UI doesn't even work. It should say that. Oops. That part should say. Well, look at this, right? That should say green key 1. But so he had his feedback on this was like, okay, right now you're forcing me to backtrack. And this is a bad kind of backtracking. So the good type of backtracking is where players see something cool and they're like, okay, you know what, I'll come back to this later. because I want to move forward. But this is very interesting, and I don't even think I took the time to learn shaders yet, so no shaders. But okay, regarding backtracking, he said there are two kinds of backtracking. The good type of backtracking is like, okay, hey, this looks cool, but I'll come back a little later. For now, I'm going to continue forward. And then the whole time you're like, okay, there's that cool stuff back there I want to explore later. The bad type of backtracking is like, here, you press this and you're like, what did this just do? Am I done here? Did I do this wrong? Maybe I missed something. So let me go back and check. Like, okay, did I miss something here? No. So this is the bad type of backtracking, right? Where players are going back because they think they missed something, as opposed to going back because they knew there was something cool they left behind. And the other thing was, okay, I'm forcing you to walk back. Like, look at how long this is taking. This is taking like, I don't know, 30 seconds, right? 30 seconds of, this is the beginning of the game, and I've just wasted 30 seconds of your time going back through an area that you've already been to before. That's not interesting, right? I should be opening up new areas. I'm also like, I can't see the effect of that. Like, there's a cause and effect thing. I can't see what the benefit of that was. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I could have just... I don't even need to go into this room. I could have just walked up here, I think. Why didn't even bother solving that? Okay, change the background to white instead of black. The other thing he said was, you press that button and it... the reason why I had that button there was so that I would know that the player had solved the puzzle. And he's like, when the player gets the door open, they've already solved the puzzle. Like, simply the act of opening the door that's enough information from the player to know that they've solved it. So I don't need them to press that key. So I got rid of that as well. I think I'm missing something here. Oh yeah, let's look at this. Okay, so EGW demo, experimental gameplay workshop. So I submitted the game to that. Let me try this again. Let's not have finished that level. And these old builds, the half the stuff in here is broken. Oh, here's a cool thing. Right? You guys also might remember this. This is in the game. So, eventually I just made them be outside, which is a lot more exciting. But yeah, it's cool to see how this is, I think, the earliest implementation of that. Lasers? It's like half these levels don't even work. They don't even load. No, I don't think there was anything there. So again, and this is the earliest water. And you know, even then I had it where the water would freeze. If this was just a Unity waterfall, I think this was just I had a mesh collider underneath, I had a box collider underneath, and it was just the particle effect, and I just had the particle effect freeze. Look at this body of water. So the idea is there, you know, the water bridge, and I think the reason why I had the water was I had this idea of having a water wheel. Oh man, I wish this works. I think some of the later ones it does. Yeah, if it doesn't load, you know, I feel like, I wonder if these ones do. Let me check. None of these work. Yeah, so this is the one. Okay, you know, so this is one that Alex played. There. This is the one I maybe submitted to IndieCade, and I think when Indie Fun first saw this, Aaron, he was like, "What is this?" So, right, the idea here was, so first of all, I got rid of this light because everybody thought it was a button. Now, this didn't tell you. I think was there a symbol that pointed up that showed me how to press that button? But so here's a problem, right? Because this level, remember, this was from before. I had this level before you could change gravity. Like, you had to unlock the ability to change gravity, but now that you can change gravity, you can change gravity from the beginning, which means that I should be teaching players that before I teach them how to press a button. Like, this seems really simple, but this took me like way too long to realize. Like, I think I didn't fix this until after I was at SIGGRAPH in August, and what I did was I got into Tokyo Game Show, and I was going to show the game at Tokyo Game Show. So I was going to go to Tokyo, and I don't speak Japanese, and so the month before Tokyo Game Show, I was invited to show at SIGGRAPH through this thing called The Mix. And it was like 3 days we were in the middle of the showcase floor. Yeah, I was just like, this was SIGGRAPH 2014 in Vancouver. No, we didn't present. I was just like on the show floor with the game. And, you know, people were coming in, like a lot of people, there usually aren't games at SIGGRAPH. It's like usually middleware for stuff. Like Distance was there, and people thought their game was a tech demo for an engine they were making. And you know, the first 2 days, so it was 3 days, and the first 2 days I would stand by the game, and I would invite people to come, and then I would explain how to play the game. You know, I'd be like, okay, because there's no instructions, right? So I'd be like, okay, like you gotta walk, and I would say they'd start the game, and I would say, okay, walk on ahead and press E, right? And they'd come down, and then I would I would kind of walk them through this area, and then teach them how to change gravity here. And after the second day, I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to do this in Japan. Like, I can't, this is pretty complicated to explain. I can't explain this in Japanese. Right? I don't think I can learn enough Japanese in a month to explain how to like change gravity and press a button and all that. So the third day, I didn't stand by the booth. And the way the booth was set up, so we had these laptops. They were all running on laptops. And the laptops were in these little cabinets. Like, you know, they had this monitor, and then the laptop was in a cabinet underneath. And the door of the, so like they had all the computers. Actually, I'll just explain with this. So this was the setup, right? And there were like 8 or so games, and they were set up this way. So, and they all have their monitors facing out. So it was like in this little donut, and the monitor was facing outside. So like here, like this is just some like random SIGGRAPH attendant. Like they'd come in and they'd play the game like that, right? Now on the inside, they have, this is the inside. They have like a couch, and you could, for the devs to sit in, I think. So like my computer is here, right? Like here's the monitor. What I did was I rotated the laptop so that the monitor was facing the player, but the laptop was facing inside, and I would sit here. So this is me. God, drawing using a trackball is the worst. So I'm here. This is me down here. And that way, it's like when people are playing the game, they don't know I'm watching, but I can see both their face, because from here I can see their face and what's going on in the monitor from the laptop. And they didn't know the developer was watching, right? And that day I would see people come, and they'd come in and they'd be like, what would happen was they would accidentally press spacebar, because people try to jump. It's a first-person game. Everybody tries to jump. Everybody hits spacebar, and then they're stuck down here, and they're like, "What happened?" And because you have to be close enough to a surface for a spacebar to work, right? So they'd be facing here, and they'd be pressing spacebar, and there's no gravity change. Or they'd be like, change over here, and they're like, "What? So that doesn't work." And then they come here, and they're like, "What? That doesn't work." And then they just leave. And I just saw like person after person have that exact same experience. And that was when I was like, okay, this intro is broken. And so now in the game, instead of learning, so here, because what happened was I switched up the order of things you should learn, right? I thought, okay, first you learn to press a button, then you learn to change gravity. But you should be learning to change gravity first and then pressing a button, because if you know how to press a button, but you don't know how to change gravity, if you accidentally change gravity, you screwed yourself over, because you're like, what just happened? Like, I don't understand, right? Like, all I know is how to press a button. And now I'm here and like, I can't press a button anymore. I don't understand what happened. But if players know how to change gravity first, right? So let's say they don't know how to press a button. They know how to change gravity, so they're like, boom, boom, and then they come here and they're like, I can't press this, but I know how to change gravity, so maybe let me try this, and that can work. So I had this is like February, right? I had this for 6 months. So it wasn't until August of 2014. This is like February 2014. It wasn't until August 2014 that I realized there was a problem. And you can see how this would have happened, right? Because originally when I designed this opening, you couldn't change gravity, right? You had to unlock the ability to change gravity later. So, if you like add new abilities, that impacts how the level design works. So that was a very important lesson that I learned there. And also, like, when you're playtesting, you should not be telling people what to do. You should just let them figure it out. Like, so, yeah, like, you being there, you talking to people, you walking people through the game has a huge impact in how players will respond, and that's all messing up your data. So anyway, I think that would be a good spot to wrap up the stream. So we got to February 12th, 2014. We'll look at, I think we'll look at the last version, because that shows the, that's the one I sent into Indiecade. We'll look at some of the ones in March, because this is the one that I built. I took to GDC, showed other game developers, and everybody was like, you need to work on the art style. Like, everybody. And I was like, okay, I'm going to finally learn shaders. Then April, I took that build to PAX East. I got a lot of feedback and just kind of kept working on it. So starting to get there. These are starting. You can see all the ideas that got thrown out. Oh man, I really wish this worked. The water wheel was kind of cool. It was like, so like you could turn these giant water wheels with the water, and it was like you had to, if you use blue water, because blue water is falling down, red water is falling up. Depending on which gravity, you could turn the water wheel in a different direction, and then open or close the door as necessary. Again, very, very Myst, very Cairo. All right, well, and for those of you that are new, let me just show you guys some of kind of the latest version of the game, what that looks like, what the game looks like now. So if you haven't seen Manifold Garden before, now these are screenshots I've taken during development, so some of them are like me trying to capture bugs. Yeah, and we've got a Steam store page. You can add the game to your wish list. So it's pretty funny how far the game has come. This is a great screenshot, by the way. Any plans on an announced beta? We are going to have beta testers. But it's going to be closed. As for release date, I think it's going to be 2018. Early 2018. That's what I'm thinking of. Your friend asked for one more build showcase. What's a build showcase? And Sublime Breeze, thank you. So yeah, anyway, this is it's Manifold Garden. And for those of you, if you've missed some of the earlier archives, I do work on this full time. Yeah, in the, if you go to my, so YouTube, my YouTube channel. Oh wait, these are development updates, but that's in the wrong. But I have where is it? Yeah, Unfolding the Garden has all the past episodes. Yeah, I do work on it full time. All right, guys, I think this will be it for today. I am going to work on an in-game bug reporting tool. And I'm not going to stream that because that's got some like server-side code that I want to keep private. If you guys, unless you guys have any more questions, I am going to send you guys over to another game developer streamer. Skyway Interactive is doing some Houdini. I'll send you guys over to him. Cool, awesome. Thanks so much, Sublime Breeze. And but yeah, we'll do. We'll pick up where we left off. So the unfolding. So I stream development pretty often, and then every Saturday I do kind of a special dev stream, a special stream where I play through old builds of the game. So it's part of a series. It's called Unfolding the Garden. So if you want to know, kind of see the evolution of the game, kind of behind the scenes stuff, this is the series. It's like 90 minutes every Saturday. All right. Have a great weekend, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.